Welcome to Horse Racing Gamer, where champions are made.
There are 4 horses that I believe everybody should be keeping an eye on for this upcoming 2022 Preakness Stakes. Just a disclaimer, this is not financial or wagering advice. I'm just going through some of the horses that I think have the best chance of winning this Preakness Stakes. So if you're new, make sure to subscribe here to the channel, mainly for horse racing gaming content, but I also will be discussing horse racing for the bigger events. I'll start to be doing that more. So anyways, let's get right into it. Just right off the bat, of course, Kentucky Derby winner Rich Strike will not be participating in this upcoming Preakness Stakes, but he will be ready for the Belmont. Owners, trainers, all the connections involved are being safe and being smart about the horse's health, which should be the priority at the end of the day for any of these people involved. So I'm glad to see that they're actually concerned about just making sure their horse is in the best shape and in the best condition to run these type of races. They already decided that if they weren't going to put Rich Strike in the Derby, he would have ran the Preakness and the Belmont back to back. But if he ran the Derby, then they were going to skip the Preakness and send him straight to the Belmont, which I'm still excited about. So with that out of the way, no Rich Strike, but we have 4 horses to be watching out for. First, we're going to start off with this filly. Secret Oath is obviously who I'm referring to now. There have been 6 fillies that have won the Preakness, and the last one to win it was Rachel Alexandra. So keep that in mind here. Secret Oath, she looked really strong in the Kentucky Oaks. She really had no resistance once she got into deep stretch. She pulled away and she stayed strong at that distance against those other fillies. She easily won that with Luis Saez on board. So I think Secret Oath has a really solid chance of actually winning this year's Preakness. Clearly, I think she has the endurance to go the distance. She's going to be racing against the boys, but I don't think that'll bother her. I think she's a really, really tough gal there, and I could see her definitely going head-to-head with Epicenter, possibly as that duel in the stretch. So I think Secret Oath has a really solid chance to actually do well here in this Preakness Stakes. As far as what her morning line odds are going off as, last time I checked, she was going off at 11-2. I like that price tag on her, so I'm definitely keeping my eye on Secret Oath as someone that I'm interested in for the 2022 Preakness. We'll be moving on, though, to Epicenter next. Of course, Epicenter has already won the Risen Stakes and Louisiana Derby, and then not to mention he had a strong finish in the Kentucky Derby there and accelerated towards the end of that race, but of course it was Rich Strike that ended up getting at the wire in time to win out. So I think Epicenter again is going to be a strong horse as well. I said it previously about Secret Oath. I could see him and her running together in the end and having quite the duel. Kind of a head bobber, maybe will be up in the air for that finish. Current morning line odds are 3-1. I don't really like that price tag on Epicenter. I think if you're going to put him maybe in some exotics, that would be worthwhile, but just placing a win bet or anything like that on him is not something that I'm looking to do at that current price. I don't think he'll go up any higher than that. The highest I could see him being is maybe 5-1, but I think that's unlikely. So Epicenter still has a very good shot to win this. Clearly he can run the distance. Clearly he can handle a decent pace, and I fully expect him to be at the front taking control of this race potentially, and we'll see how he actually pans out into the stretch there in Maryland. Next on the list is Simplification. Now this is a horse that I expect to actually sit off the pace and to get going at a later stage in the race. It's basically how he ran the Derby. He sat in the back of that field for most of the race until we got closer to turns 3, and he eventually rallied up to finish in a strong 4th. So I think Simplification under the right conditions will start to close the gap. I still expect Epicenter and Secret Oath to be at the front setting the pace. I don't think Simplification is going to want anything to do with that, but do expect a possible late surge from him in deep stretch. I just don't know if it's going to be enough. I think they're going to have to run him a little bit closer to have a better chance at actually challenging for the win, as opposed to having him sit what he would think he was more than maybe 8 to 10 lengths off the lead in that Derby. He's going off at 8-1 right now. That's a decent tag, price tag, much better than Epicenter. So I would feel a little bit more better placing something on him for a win if the conditions look right, and I think he has a legitimate chance of winning. It wouldn't surprise me to see him maybe shock people. Again, depending on how close he stays to the leaders. I don't think he'll be able to afford being at the back like he was in the Derby and then trying to play catch up and get past Secret Oath and Epicenter at the line. I think he'll have to keep things much closer if he wants to have a chance at winning. Maybe they'll change that for him. We'll see. But I think Simplification is a good horse to keep your eye on if you're interested. And last but not least, for this particular list of horses that I'm actually interested in, it is Early Voting. Now, Early Voting has very limited experience. He won a G3 beforehand, and he skipped the Kentucky Derby to prepare for the Preakness Stakes. Jose Ortiz actually left Simplification in order to ride this horse Early Voting, which is interesting. So I don't know if that tells you that maybe there's something about Simplification Jose just didn't like as much when it came to that late stretch surge compared to Early Voting. I am worried though about the horse's limited experience for big races. Like I said, last win was a G3 from my understanding, and I'm not sure exactly how Early Voting will do in this race. I think his pedigree has the distance there, so certainly he should be able to run it, but how competitive he'll be once we get to the end is the big question. So I am not looking at Early Voting too hard. His morning line odds, are currently going off at 6-1. Kind of like Epicenter, I'm not a huge fan of that price tag. I want something closer to that 10-1, 11-2 range like Secret Oath and higher, especially if you're going to be placing a win wager. Like I said, there's just limited knowledge on Early Voting. You're kind of taking a leap with this horse because clearly the pedigree has proven they have what they need to run this distance, but how Early Voting will handle this field and this stage of a race since he missed the Derby, that's what we don't know. I feel like Epicenter, Secret Oath, Simplification, these horses have been properly prepared for this Preakness Stakes. They've ran on a big stage. Epicenter and Simplification running in the Kentucky Derby. They're used to the environment. They should be, and they performed well in the end. And then Secret Oath, the same thing with the Kentucky Oaks. Early Voting, I'm not sure exactly how this horse will handle. Not every horse likes the big stage and the big event with all the people screaming and yelling. And some horses don't do well with that inherently. So I'm not sure if that's going to be Early Voting since that G3 did not have the crowd and the environment that this Preakness Stakes will have. But he's going off at 6-1. If you want to play some in exotics, like I said, with Epicenter, I think that'd be the best way to get the most bang for your buck. So those are the four horses I'm looking at. I'm well aware of the outsiders that are also on this list, who are Creative Minister, Armagnac, Skippy Longstopping, and Happy Jack, along with Fenwick. Skippy Longstocking, people kind of seem to have in the back of their heads as a good long-term prospect as an outsider for this Preakness Stakes. Currently going off at 20-1 is Skippy Longstocking, so that's a good tag. I mean, if you're able to hit that and you put some money on it, I'm sure it could be a very nice day for you. These other horses I just don't know too much about, and I'm not sure if they're going to be able to contend with Epicenter and Secret Oath. It'd be a shocker if we got another Rich Strike-esque type of finish in this race with a long shot coming up to claim victory literally within the last 100 to 200 meters of the race. So I still expect that the current favorites of this race, who are the four I've mentioned today, I still expect them to be somewhere near the front, at least for sure, with Epicenter and Secret Oath, and a late charging Simplification, depending on how far they keep them off the pace. But these outsiders, I'm just not sure how they're going to do, how they're going to handle this race in this stage. So we'll have to wait and see. But those are just my selections and my research here for the 2022 Preakness Stakes. You guys feel free to let me know what you're looking at and who you like if you want to in the comments section below, and we shall take it from there. As always, appreciate you guys' love and support on the channel. I'm excited for this race. I'm a little bit bummed about Rich Strike not being there for a Triple Crown this year, but obviously the horse's health and the horse's conditioning is the most important thing, so I'm glad that they're taking the proper approach in regards to that. But I'm excited for this race. I would love to see another filly win. I love to see the fillies beat the boys in the Preakness Stakes. It hasn't happened a lot, but when it does, I do thoroughly enjoy it. So hoping we're in treat for that this year with Secret Oath, who I currently like the most, and who I'm going to be going for in this Preakness Stakes race. Again, let me know your comments down there in the comment section below. Till next time, the Horse Racing Gamer signing out. Hope you have a great, fantastic day. I will see you all later, and goodbye.
Welcome to Horse Racing Gamer, where champions are made.